What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent.
Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country.
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that planet.
DG 360, providing clarity to issues.
The judiciary, third arm of government. What happens here is what we give to you. The arraignments, arguments, rulings, adjournments of cases and judgments. The fight against corruption and issues bordering on human rights violations.
The doctrine of least spenders ought to have been respected, that no arm of government, however powerful, should take the laws into its hands as held by the Supreme Court.
Justice is one way. It's either you go for justice or justice go after you. But I've never seen a situation where an individual is afraid of justice.
We move from court to court to give you updates on legal matters, when they happen and where they are happening, going extra miles to get reactions from the parties, even when they're not in the mood to speak.
No comment. Talk to my lawyer.
Watch Legal Scope on CoreTV News at this time.
You know, Angela, that's a very difficult question.
It is difficult to respond to that question.
Angela, that's a great question.
Great question, Angela.
Angela, that is a very great question.
That's a great question, Angela.
Okay, that's a great question.
Yeah, very good question.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
That's an interesting question.
This is an interesting question you pose.
60 Minutes with Angela. Again, answers to every question you always wanted to ask.
CoreTV News now.
Democracy allows for fair hearing. This is reckless. This is ungodly.
When news break, we engage experts in critical analysis.
Do you see your party coming into power come 2019?
This administration will succeed and succeed well.
Cannot be running a 4-year tenure. Like you are running a 20-year tenure.
He has done fairly well, especially where insurgency and terrorism.
Then it gets controversial.
They have a right to their opinion.
Can we, very interesting, gentlemen, just hold on.
I am about principle and I am about force.
Now, you see, let me,
all right?
Let me say this.
So that our soldiers will be free, we should also ask for justification.
Core Digest, your #1 program for current issues. Welcome back on the program. We're still talking jumbo pay fraud lawmakers. My guest is still here. We work with our public affairs analyst. Well, thanks for staying tuned.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, back to this issue of constituency allowance. I said something about that before we went on that break, yes, where the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, termed constituency allowance as fraud.
I want to align with what that elder statesman said. Though most of the time I disagree with it, but this particular one, I align with it. Because if you go to these constituencies, what have they done? I saw one advert, one of the newspapers, where a senator was, where a lawmaker was marking his constituency allowance and gathered it together. What was it? Ask me. It was electric pole, one electric pole. As constituency allowance, no, that was in the north, but just an electric pole. Just as in the south here, people just go and dig 1 or 2 boreholes in their constituency. That's constituency project. How much have you received compared to what you have just done? What does it cost to dig a borehole? At least 250,000. Let's say I want to be industrial, maybe 500. The two under 1 million, 1 million plus, and that's all. How much does it cost to buy one electric pole? At least maybe 25,000. Let's give it 200,000. And you say you have done constituency project. It is annoying. It shows that we are not ready to sacrifice, to make any sacrifice for this country. We are not ready. Another society they will keep on distributing grinding machines, distribute sewing machines, they distribute this, and they say that that's their constituency project. A project is something that can stand the test of time and that will be beneficial to that constituency. For instance, go to a constituency and construct a three-floor, 36-room primary school building in a primary school. Go to the university around your constituency, build maybe about 200-bedroom hostel. This is called projects. This is called constituency projects. Not all these what I call news making, publicity things you are doing that you are giving people money. I agree with the president, with that other statement that it is nothing but a way of siphoning money, and it is unfortunate. But you must all know that the Nigeria belongs to all of us. The money, though it's natural cake, it should not be eating wadu, because very soon it will come to judgment.
All right, let's turn our attention to still on security situation of the country, the issues at the moment. Yesterday, we saw the police spoke something concerning security on the railway stations and as efforts to boost operation of POF that the Inspector General Police, Mohammed Adamu, has officially deployed personnel and trained security dogs for the Force K9 operation unit to railway stations across the country for the safety of passengers as well as the nation. Let me let you listen to the sight and sound of this particular development coming from the Inspector General Police, Mohammed Adamu.
Staff and indeed all the citizens of this country can further be reassured of their security as they patronize the services of the Nigerian Railway Corporation. I can assure all that all assets of the police shall continually be mobilized and deployed towards denying criminal elements of any space to operate in any location in the country. We, however, continually solicit the cooperation of all. We encourage all citizens to embrace the concept of if you see anything, say something. Indeed, our appeal now is if you suspect anything, say something.
To ensure professionalism, the dog handlers have undergone intensive training with the dogs in terms of agility, criminal attacks, sniping, minute quantity of improvised explosive devices, IED, or any of its components. The dog operatives have been trained in techniques and tactics of farm control over the dogs.
Well, talking about security development in the country, the Inspector General of Police are talking about how to boost Operation POF in the country. There you have, if I can have that particular report, where we have some dogs being trained and having them, seeing them at the moment, looking at some of the trainings they went through in Abuja yesterday is very, very interesting at this time. Still talking about security situation in the country. How can we have more development in the country? Private property of Nigerians will be very sacrosanct to the government. Muiwa?
Well, thank you. If you look at the Nigerian Constitution, the basic duty of government is to ensure the safety of lives and property of citizens and the sovereignty of the nation. Any government that cannot provide this is acting against the spirit of the Constitution. So having said that, I want to give kudos to the government for this latest improvement. That's just what I'll call a drop in the ocean. A drop in the ocean in the sense that what is happening along major roads in the north, these criminals, they know when policemen will come to the major roads. They come there around 10 o'clock in the morning. As soon as it is 4, they are gone. Can these people stay on these major roads or these railway stations from 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock the following morning? They will not be there. Even the dogs will be tired.
The dogs?
So, even the dogs will be tired. They want to go and allow the dogs to rest. When a controlled dog is not allowed to rest, when it's chilled, it becomes uncontrollable. So it becomes uncontrollable, and that's even very risky. Right. So the point I'm saying is, a lot still has to be done. More men must be employed into the force. Then a lot of there must be improvement in the supply of arms and ammunition to the policemen, and a lot of encouragement in terms of motivation must also be given. It is until we have all this done, put together, that you can say that we are beginning to have a secured nation. That is one of the reasons why I want to give kudos to the governors of the Southwest for the recent seminar they had over security. To the extent that one of them did say that henceforth, if they send the security labs to the Southwest, they should be held responsible. That shows readiness to work, to make people sleep with their 2 eyes closed.
So are you saying that these dogs will also be tired? Because
definitely.
They are there to complement the efforts of the police officers.
They are to complement within stipulated hours. There is no way a dog will be on standby for 24 hours. It's not possible. And they cannot...
At the railway station now.
At the railway station, it's not possible. And they cannot ask the dogs to go and rest and the men to be there. The men too will doze off. So we need enough. This is good. But I'm saying that, would they be there 24 hours of the day? You cannot, you see, what does it take to cause havoc? Just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. It could be those 2 minutes when they will not be there that disaster will strike.
Aside from this, what other technicality do you think the police can also deploy to such areas of the railway station? If this administration is talking about improving railway lines.
Thank you. Scientific surveillance. Put CCTV cameras in and there where they will not be easily sighted. Link this to the nearest police station and let somebody be there always monitoring. Or will doze off. Let the monitoring be done in what I call phases. If someone will do it in the morning, another person do it in the afternoon, and then in the evening. So anytime you know that place is being under surveillance, if any breach of security, you cannot say, yeah, man, run down there. That's number one. You don't have to see, security is not the presence of just people in uniform. Most of the advanced countries, if you go to their stations, you may not see people in uniform, but you have security. If you go to the airport, go to Heathrow now, any other airport, you will see people roaming, but you are being monitored, everybody. So any breach of it, they couldn't get you. And before you say Jacobson, you have been handcuffed. So let us go that way. That's number one. Number two.
Just a moment. You continue with that line of thought. Let's quickly open the phone line now to get the reactions of Nigerians on what we're looking at. We started with the issue of lawmakers, jumbo pay, and now we're talking about security details in the country. What is the situation at the moment? And yesterday we saw as effort to boost Operation Puff that the Inspector General of Police formally deployed personnel and trained security dogs to the Force K9 Operation Unit to railway stations to ensure the safety of lives and property of Nigerians at this time. Let's have your calls and comments. Do not make any hate speech. Well, if you do, we have the right to do the needful on the program. Stick to our editorial policy on the program so that we can have that smooth communication. When you call into the studio, reduce the audio of your TV set. Thank you so much for abiding with our editorial policy this morning. Back to you, Muyiwa Wulaja.
Yeah. Number two, let security forces, let all the forces come together. Security can't be the sole business of the police. Actually, in this country, most criminals fear the soldiers more than the police. Ordinary transport drivers, if they see a police checkpoint, if I ask them like Jackie Malojo, I know what to do. When they see soldiers there, after they make a detour. They make a detour. So that's enough. So let these forces complement each other. As you have these people, the police now, let's have some soldiers there. Let's have some Air Force officers there. Let's have some naval officers there. But I have this joint security patrol. Definitely, it will be more effective. I want to believe that. Then aside from that, government should do the actual security. The actual security is provide employment opportunities. I'm not saying government should employ. Provide the enabling environment that will make Nigerians employ themselves. My dear man, if this country can have 24 hours uninterrupted power supply, let's say just 3 days in a week of uninterrupted power supply, most Nigerian youths, most criminals who are doing this will find something to do. Among these criminals, there are welders. Among these criminals, there are designers, or let's call them tailors. Among these criminals, there are those who have freezers in their houses, who can make blocks, who can sell blocks. And because the saying is that the idle hand is devil's workshop, then they find a way of making a living, which is bad, which is criminal. It should not be the case. But let government provide the enabling environment. There was a time when the Lagos State government went out of its way to establish bakeries for area boys. We call them, number one, we christen them good boys. Instead of area boys, call them good boys. And bakeries here and there in Lagos, it was during the time of General Mawa. And those people were producing bread. And they moved them out of the streets to different bakeries in the state.
What happened to that company at the moment?
It's gone now. It's like asking me the question, what happened to Volkswagen Nigeria Limited?
What killed such companies?
Government policy. Government policy. When the new government came on board, the new government did not see the thinking of that government that established it. You know, the problem in Nigeria is that anytime you come on board, you want to start your own project. Forgetting that governance is continuous. It's continuous, it's a continuum. It has no end. It's like education. They want to start their own project so they can commission it, have a plaque erected with their name written in black and white, if not in gold. So I said, so nothing happened. If that had continued, we would have reduced to a large extent the influence or the activities of the roadside, what do you call the street urchins, and then the activities of these gangsters, because the bakeries will have expanded and they'll be getting more hands, and they are eating from there, they are being given allowance from there, and they were happy. And to carry it all, they were actually made to sell the bread, the loaf of bread, and for any sale they could only get commission. So they were occupied, engaged. As a result, their minds were torn away from criminal activities.
We have our first caller on the program this morning. Tayo is calling us from Jos. Good morning, Tayo. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Good morning, and good morning to your guests.
Good morning to you.
Yeah. I want to comment concerning the issue of the National Assembly take-home monthly money that they receive. See, to be sincere, if we were to solve the problem of Nigeria, we have to start with the deduction of these politicians' salary. See, when you look at the beginning of this crisis we have in Nigeria, it's as a result of politics. When somebody wants to get this because he sees the benefit that is there, by all means he want to be there. That is how this issue of Boko Haram generates to this moment. Now, issue of kidnapping, because they cannot survive again, because the money that politicians give to them are finished. So they have to find ways. So to me, I will say this, that if a politician knows that the money is going there to receive as a salary, it's not what he can do as a business. What he can achieve if he does business, it will not go there. See, that is when you will see the true leader. The people who are ready to lead this country well, they won't mind their money, but they want to go for it because they want to serve the nation. But if the money is there, you will know the real leader. So concerning the issue of security, I want to say that why can't we go for database? Nigeria has peaked to enough. These police issue, if they like, they deploy millions of police. Without the database, we can't get the real information we need. If we have the database, we can be able to monitor The issue of corruption, we can fight that with database. I appeal to Mr. President to look into this.
Thank you very much, Tayo from Jos. You've made your contribution there. Database, how we can look at this.
Not only that, it's not talking about the jumbo pay.
Yeah, the jumbo pay.
It should be reduced. You see, that's why you get the real leaders, not those who want to go there for money. If you make an attempt to say that, okay, for the next 2 years, sitting will be on Senate will be paid sitting allowance, blah blah blah. Let us say how many of them will return. We'll go there, and that you don't need to go for election. You all see the significant that you want to go, we will give it to you automatically. None of those pot belly men will want to go there again. They would not want to. So let us do that. So we will not know those who are really interested in this country. Who are those Nigerians that actually want the best for this country?
It shows that it's not about service to humanity.
It's not about it. But it's about service to their pockets.
Self-service.
That's the point. It's about service to their pockets. It's not about service to humanity. No. If you are serving humanity, you will not deprive humanity of what's meant for all of them. It is great deprivation. If you sum up what those people are getting, I want to believe that some states of the Federation may not be able to have that in a month to sustain the state. What are we saying? Democracy is for the greater people. It's for the greater majority. It's not for the few privileged. In this country, it's for the few privileged at the expense of the greater majority.
Right, so very interesting there. Back to this issue of security at the moment. Well, it's becoming very worrisome. Yes. We saw 2 days ago, NASA delegates met with President Muhammadu Buhari, talking about how they can tackle insecurity in Nasarawa State. Considering
the governors of West Southwest
the governors of Southwest equally met, and they spoke about state police and the creation of this one, looking at the benefits and some of the disadvantages. What do you think governors can do? I'm talking about the 36 states of the Federation at the moment, to nip in board the rising case of insecurity in their state.
Number one, the present arrangement has rendered the governors useless, in quote, because they are supposed to be the chief security officer of the states. Unfortunately, they cannot control the commissioner of police in their state. The commissioner of police in their state report directly to the Inspector General, and the IG reports directly to the president. So how is he the chief executive officer when he has no power to maintain law and order? Don't you be surprised that I've seen instances when governors of states are given house arrest or office arrest, and they are not allowed to leave their office. So how would you expect that kind of governor to not enforce law and order? So there must be a rethink of the system. And that's why I support the idea of state police.
We have another caller. John is calling us from Jos. Good morning, John.
Hello, good morning, Ajay.
Thank you so much for joining us.
And good morning to the guests.
Good morning, Mr. John.
You see, we are making things difficult for ourselves. We must not practice what will be dealing with us. This our democracy that we are practicing indirectly is dealing with us. Somebody, let me tell you something, somebody will try his possible best to make sure he's there. It's not just because of he loves this country or what. It's because of the money, the modest amount again. Sorry to say this, that is why you are seeing anything, whenever there will be election, my man normally flies. Because some people will go to every length to make sure they win this election. By rituals, by all kind of things. If our people will save us in this democracy we are practicing is very costly. Very, very costly. The things that is in it, I don't know how to put it. I'm just begging, if we can come down and agree to restructure this country, so that everybody will be this. You know, yes, he's going there as a technocrat to do something. He's not going there for his pocket. Let me tell you something there. Take it or leave it. 80% of people that are there is for their pocket because of the jumbo money that is there. What I'm still saying is this: if our countrymen will tell ourselves the truth, and those that are scared of restructuring, I don't know why they're scared of restructuring. If we restructure this country, let me tell you something: all this Boko Haram will go. By that time, there's not some people here will not tell the German that you are not from here. Find your way. But because of This is my brother. This is my brother. They allow all these Nigerian people to. If you hear in just now, let me just say this. We hear all over every place. They are the owner of the resources now. The outside men now in the background. The Nigerian people now are the people now making everything now in just. So by the time we reported this country, the northern people will not say Nigerian people. No, this is but because of it is Nigeria now that you are practicing one unity government now. Every people now they open the that is all these Boko Haram, everything is happening. But you want to tell us that one is to shelter this country, the pure man will not say no. You are the German, find your way. And I'm telling you this thing now. The way these people are communicating in South now, if they didn't take time, if they didn't take that, because if you give them small chance, they will take half. Before you know it,
okay,
they will push you. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much, John. You've made your point there. All right, back to you.
You see, you can see the trend. It is true until we demonetize that central, that legislative arm. That's when you have two representatives. For now, we have people who are going there to pocket their own national wealth and prepare for their generations unborn at the expense of the masses. And as for the securities, I was saying that these governors have not been adequately equipped. So that's how to support the idea of the state police that can be used by these governors to ensure that their areas are very safe. If the governor has the right to command the commissioner of police in the state and tell him this and this and this and what I want from you, he will get better results. And that's why you have all these governors using their local vigilante.
Okay.
We
have Bob.
I don't think it's the best. It's not the best.
Bob, but we're still going to talk about what they are using their security votes for. This is something that is indeed also getting reactions of Nigerians. Bob, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us from Jos.
Yeah, good morning, Ima. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Yeah, in fact, we don't hide that I know your program start at this time. What's the topic of your program, please?
Well, Bob, we're talking about, earlier we talked about the jumbo pay, and now we're looking at the security situation in Nigeria. The jumbo pay is where Lawa, they say that what he receives as salary is 750,000 naira, and Issa Sage is saying is about 15 million naira total package of each lawmakers in the country.
You mean the salary? Are you talking about the salary of the senators and House of Reps?
Yes.
Well, to me, it's laughable when we first of all heard that the current Senate president said that they are collecting 750,000. You know, it's quite laughable. I think it's just today we had it over the radio again that the man championing corruption team, Sagi, said that they are collecting 15 million, and he never said the right thing. That he said a partial part of it. That what they are collecting is 15 million and 750,000 altogether. Should be about you know what you know, add up to it. You know what it should be. If such person is saying such a thing, it's laughable. You know, for a start, he's just coming in as a Senate president and he's not trying to be plain to the people. It's just unfortunate. You should remember that it's the people that are the employer of this. They are employee. The people are the employer. The people supposed to know what the employee is being paid.
Yes.
If this thing is being hidden or is being secret, what is the essence of democracy? Democracy, they should be run in a very clean slate, in a very open way. That they shouldn't be secret. Why should they be secret? If it's 750,000 they are collecting, will they be killing themselves the way they are killing themselves everywhere? In the name of politics, and in the name of political position. So they should be plain. This is the right time. This is the right time. They should demonstrate, honesty in that house. You understand me?
Yes.
They should know that the people are the employer. They employ the senator, they employ the rep, they employ the president, even the governor. They should be accountable to the people. So all these things should be clear. It's unfortunate.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. Bob from Jos. Well, Bob is not smiling at this time.
No, nobody will smile.
And Bob keep calling, even when there's no light.
See? That's the interest.
That's another thing, because my guest was here yesterday, Dr. Dayakadi, said if you are to tackle the issue of insecurity in the country, we need to...
You start with the provision of 24-hour supply.
Provision of 24-hour power supply.
Yes, we need it. If everywhere is illuminated, you know that crime thrives in darkness. So if everywhere is illuminated, where will you get under what cover do you want to perpetrate the crime? You will not. And aside from that, when you have that kind of power supply, you will be engaged. That's what I'm saying. As a tailor, you will be engaged, always swaying. As a welder, you are always engaged, always doing your welding. As a married woman, you have a small fridge, you are engaged, selling something very cold, selling ice block. There is nothing you will not get something to. You will get something to do. But now you want to sell ice block, which is only 200 naira per piece, and you need to buy fuel of almost 500 naira. You need to have a generator.
Or more than that. If you have a big gen,
you can. How do you make ends meet?
The idle hand is the devil's workshop.
Automatically, you become
so
idle.
if you have such as playing out, how can you nip in bond the issue of insecurity in the country? People would tell you that the lack of jobs.
Yes.
People are going out of their jobs daily.
On daily basis.
So but that's not a yardstick.
It's not.
For
the
you to...
government must ensure that there is enabling environment to survive. I'm not saying government should employ everybody. I'm not said to. But create that enabling environment. Make the economy attractive for foreigners to come in. Let us have most businessmen have deserted the country because of power. The quantum of money they spend on power are sitting deep into the fabrics of their economy, of their profit, to the extent that by the time the year ends, there will be no profit to declare.
What is the danger inherent in a country where the safety of life and property is not at least 90% to 95% guaranteed?
The danger is that we are sitting on a keg of gunpowder. One day it will explode. It can turn to one national revolt. It can lead to disintegration of the country. It will discourage foreigners from coming in. And those who are in want to leave. Again, it will turn the country to a pariah state. Citizens will not be allowed to come to areas where they think that they can come, they can constitute.
Because in this case, we have security operations.
Killings. You have kidnapping. Actually, some people have said that kidnapping is not a profession.
It's not about ordinary Nigerian now. It's about it is all encompassing.
Yes, I agree.
The soldiers are dying. The police officers are also dying.
Foreigners are dying because they are being kidnapped. Nigerians are dying. Nigerian women are being raped by Nigerians. You will see that, but next year, you will see what will happen to the economy next year. Price of foodstuff will go so high.
I don't want you to sound like a prophet of doom.
No.
On
price
the program,
of foodstuff will go so high.
Why, on what you're saying? Are you talking with statistics?
Because most farmers have left their farms because of the attacks of X-Men. I don't want to know that they are Fulani. I want to call them X-Men because of the attacks of these X-Men. And where the farmers have actually done any planting, the cattle they are rearing, they have done a lot of enough damage to this plant, to the items planted. Tomatoes eaten up, rice eaten up. So we have the harvest next year.
Okay, can you provide solutions to this development that we are having in the country? What are the solutions?
Government must sit up. Number one, government must ensure that open grazing is stopped. It's not done.
But it is the same government that advocated that we should have cattle colony. If you watch what is happening in Benue at the moment, protests all around Benue yesterday against the proposed cattle colony in about 3 local governments.
They were against cattle colony, but they were not against cattle ranch. Get it right. There's a difference between the cattle ranch and the cattle colony, which they call, which the Fulani call, what's that Fulani name again?
The Ruga?
Ruga. A cattle colony is like a town. That means you're going to displace those who are already there. Whereas a cattle ranch is just a limit, it's just a space bounded within which you rear your cattle and it should not be out. You may not stay in that ranch. You can go to a town and stay. Come back to the border and look at your cattle. And they are free. They can move around within the ranch, but they cannot come out of the ranch. So, if you now want to come to me and say, want a colony, that means you have to displace my people. That's the meaning. Why should I my people be displaced? For some people are doing their own profession. It's their profession. What if the teachers come and say, okay, as teachers, we want to establish secondary schools. But yeah, give me land. Doctors want to establish hospitals, give me land. Farmers want give me land. How many people will be given land? They are just doing their job. Others are doing their job.
Can you proffer solutions to this development?
The solution, simple. One, government should be there should be what I call the body language of government should show seriousness.
Okay.
So that these people will know that government will not take any rubbish. Number one. Security should be interwoven. Be integrated into the security system. Number three, our security should go digital. Let us improve our database. Let us have CCTV cameras here and there. Number four, these security forces arms and ammunition so that they can face these criminals. Then number three, let government provide this enabling environment that will enable everybody to be occupied. Mind you, the idle hand man's eye. An idle hand is a
devil's workshop.
So, then, this idea of cattle ranch should be looked into. Let's have ranches for them. They are limited. You know,